My name is Kevin Boynton, and I'm going to be your instructor for the next few weeks. And originally, they told me I should probably do a video introducing myself, but the last thing you want to do is learn more about me. So instead, what I thought I would do is sort of touch base on a few little practical things that a lot of times people don't know about InDesign, and on the off chance that you do know about this stuff in InDesign, it's a good refresher for you. So I'm going to open up a document here that I've already created once before. It's in picas, by the way, not in inches or millimeters. The reason I chose picas is there's certain measurements that you can do to figure out the ratio between a column measure and the point size that you're using picas and points, and it's a lot easier to do it in that than it is any other way. So I have this set up in picas at the moment. I've got 20 pages, which if we think of a 4-page signature means I've got 5 signatures. And I'm not using columns because I would set that up when I do my grids anyway. And I have my margins set up to picas, 3 picas. The only thing that's different is the bottom has 5 picas because I might want to use the bottom to put in a marker for a page number or a footer or something of that nature. So I give it a little more room. And 3 picas, by the way, is half an inch. And 5 picas is a little less than 7/8 of an inch. And the reason I used 5 rather than 6, which would have given me exactly an inch, is because and I know this is silly, but I just do it out of habit, is these numbers are numbers in the Fibonacci sequence. So a little snooty on my part, but there you go. And then I have my bleed set up to 9 points, which equals 1/8 of an inch, or 0.125 inch, which is the industry standard for bleed. Now, of course, you should always discuss the bleed with your printer because some printers may have something different, but 1/8 of an inch is usually a pretty good rule of thumb. So, and here we go. We're going to fit this. I keep forgetting. Fit the spread in the window. I always forget the keyboard shortcut for that. I know it's something 0. So here we go. Again, my rulers are in picas. All the measurements that would be up here, x-axis, y-axis, width, height, all that would be in picas and points. But here's something that a lot of people forget, and I don't know if they went over this in any earlier courses, but here we go. If I come in with this ruler, and by the way, graphic design and printing are one of the few industries in the world that count horizontal first and then vertical second, because type is done on horizontal. And the reason we do that, again, is type. But if you go to buy a piece of furniture, they will always tell you the height before they will tell you the width. So everybody else kind of goes in the other direction. If I just pull this down on this page, I've only got one guide here. So I could make a grid manually, but this isn't exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted it to cross the whole spread. So when I do, I come over here and I pull out into the pasteboard, humorously called pasteboard. It dates back to the good old days when you had drafting tables and illustration board, and applying type literally meant cutting and pasting. So they call that the pasteboard. But now, if you'll notice off to the right-hand side, you can see that my smart guides are on, and it's telling me how far I've come down on the ruler. But here's the thing. I want it to get exactly to 22, but I've got to finagle it into position. I'm not going to do that. Let's go back to where we were. What I'm going to do instead is, as I'm pulling this down, I'm going to hold down the Shift key. And if you'll notice, what the Smart Guide is doing now is it's only showing picas. If this was in inches, it would be showing increments of inches, 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, etc. So it's in picas. So if I want to go to 24 picas, I snap to 24 picas right there. I release my mouse, then I release the Shift key. That baby is right at 24 picas. And of course that works coming out this way too. If I hold down my Shift key at 30 picas, there we go. So those are now locked in where I absolutely wanted it to be because I used the Shift key. So remember, even though you only hold the mouse in one hand, you've got two hands and the other hand can be useful for something. Again, you'll notice here 30 picas. I could change this ruler to inches by either right-clicking or using a control key on a Mac and coming in and saying inches, and now everything is in inches, and you'll notice that this changed to inches. Something else interesting about this, about these guys, is they can do math for you. So I'm going to draw a box, let's say right here, and I want this box, oh, it's 3 inches. It's 3.5 inches deep. Okay, great. But let's suppose I wanted this to be 3 1/8 of an inch, or something crazy of that nature. One thing I want to do is change my reference point so it grows from the top and down to the bottom. So I'm going to put that right up here. And now I'm going to say, in fact, I'll put it up here in this corner. That way it will grow from this point down. So I'm going to say plus 1/10 of an inch, which is a crazy number, but there we go. And now it's grown in width to 3.1. I can do the same thing with the height, only watch this. If I do plus 3 picas. So you can see I can do all kinds of math up here. I could say minus 10%. And now it's shrunk. Now, of course, this comes back to 100% again, but it always thinks it's 100%. So you can see that we could use these guys to do all kinds of measurements. Let's say I want it to be times, that's an asterisk by the way, 3, and then I hit that. Now whew, it's gotten really big. Or I could say minus 6 centimeters. And there, it's done it again. It's doing the math for me, which is a good thing, because the reason I became an art major was to avoid doing lots of math. So it does all of this for us. And so we can lay in our guides any way we want to, and we can also use all of these guys up here to actually help us situate this thing the way we want it to, or build anything. And if somebody comes in and says, oh, that needs to be 1/4 of an inch bigger, you just put in plus 1/4 inch. And away you go. And always make sure you check the reference points here, because changing the reference point changes the direction in which these boxes or guides get placed. So always remember that too. And with that, I will leave you for now, and you will talk about what Mr. French teaches you later on, and we'll go from there. So have a good day.